Right now, 3 Beloit police officers are on leave after shooting and killing an armed suspect. We'll have the latest on the investigation.
And Democrats are voicing their support for legislation to lower the price of prescription drugs.
Plus, one of 2 daycare centers in Belleville is closing in the coming weeks. We'll hear from parents who are now scrambling for a backup plan.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Right now, state officials are investigating following a deadly police shootout in Rock County.
It started after sheriff's deputies spotted a stolen vehicle near the city of Beloit earlier today. Adam Duxter is on the scene with the very latest on the situation. Adam?
Yeah, Eric and Charlotte, it could be quite some time before the 1800 block of Harrison Avenue here in Beloit is back open to the public, as state officials and investigators are still working to piece together exactly what happened after they spotted that stolen vehicle. Now, earlier today at a brief press conference, Beloit Police Chief David Zabalski tried his best to piece together those moments, and he said after police spotted that stolen vehicle, they realized the driver was armed. And after he got out of his car, 3 officers with the department resulted to use deadly force.
He was observed to be armed. 3 Beloit officers fired at the suspect, who received fatal injuries. The suspect was pronounced deceased at 12:25 p.m.
Now, those 3 officers involved are not being named by the police department tonight, but are being placed on administrative duties while this state of investigation does pan out. And again, these state officials here are trying to piece together little bit by bit each moment that led up to police using that deadly force on this suspect tonight. But police do say it was a joint effort across multiple parties to take this person they believe to be armed and dangerous away from this community. Tonight at 10, we'll have more coverage as well as reaction from this area.
Adam Duxter live in Beloit. Adam, thank you.
The Dane County Medical Examiner says the man who died in an accident at Sub-Zero in Fitchburg is 58-year-old Michael O'Brien of Ridgeway. Police and EMS responded to the Appliance company facility Friday night after a man was reported to be trapped in a machine. His death is still under investigation, but foul play is not suspected.
To weather, it's an alert day for these very cold temperatures tonight. Let's check your first alert forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Yeah, those temperatures are going to drop off pretty quickly now that the sun has gone down. Not like they were very warm to begin with. On Doppler track, right now we're free of precipitation. The only precipitation showing up is lake effect snow on the other side of Lake Michigan. Current temperatures are in the teens here in Madison, but to the north and west they're already in the single digits where there's some snow on the ground, and wind chills right now are in the single digits above and below 0. By tomorrow morning, we'll look for low temperatures here in Madison to be around 6 degrees with wind chills to 10 below 0. High temperatures tomorrow will only be in the upper teens, even though skies will be sunny. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes a quick improvement in temperatures for Thursday and Friday.
Gary, thank you. Wisconsin Democrats are calling out President Trump for what they're calling broken promises to lower prescription drug costs. They also explained why they support the Lower Drug Costs Now Act of 2019 and say the legislation in the U.S. House would allow Medicare to negotiate prices on up to 250 drugs, lowering costs by up to 55% and reducing consumer spending by $750 billion to $1 trillion. Lafayette County Supervisor Chris Marion explained how prescription drugs helped her recover from rheumatoid arthritis.
Eventually, I ended up basically bedridden. I was overcome by the fatigue of constant pain. I couldn't hold a pen comfortably. I couldn't brush my teeth with a regular toothbrush because I couldn't close my fingers. And catastrophically for me, I couldn't hold a coffee cup. I needed 2 hands.
Marion says Enbrel helped her get her life back. Retired rheumatologist Timothy Harrington says the cost of that medication and other prescriptions for chronic diseases has doubled over the last decade for no justifiable reason.
The CDC and the FDA are investigating a multi-state E. coli outbreak thought to be caused by a particular brand of pre-made salad kits. Officials believe the likely source of the outbreak is the Fresh Express Sunflower Crisp Chopped Salad Kit. The CDC says 8 people from Wisconsin, Minnesota, and North Dakota have been infected. That brand's chopped leafy green romaine lettuce with a use-by date of November 14th was also found to have E. coli. A daycare center in Belleville is closing its doors at the end of the month. One parent said it's leaving about 25 families in need of childcare.
And with only one other daycare center in Belleville, that's already nearly at full capacity. They say it's causing a lot of stress on everyone. Jamie Perez joins us with more on why this daycare center suddenly closed. Jamie?
Well, in a letter that the daycare director sent to families, they said that they are not renewing their lease. While there are some people who are skeptical of that reason, it's leaving families worried about where to find their next daycare provider and how to make it work with their current finances. On December 27th, La Petite Academy of Belleville is closing its doors. One parent who wanted to remain anonymous said when she received the letter with this news.
It's a punch in the gut. It feels like La Petite doesn't really care about Belleville.
This parent said she's skeptical that the reason they're closing is due to a lease renewal.
We knew that there had been some issues keeping staff and that there had been some issues with the facility at all.
According to a Wisconsin Department of Children and Families report, this daycare has faced numerous violations in the past. Some include not reporting injuries to children, not reporting water damage, parts of the center being in disrepair, failure to report when an employee was involved in an incident that caused harm to a child, and others. In a statement, La Petite Academy said, "We conducted a comprehensive assessment and explored every option in the hope of resolving our business challenges at this school. Despite these efforts, we weren't able to find a viable solution that would enable us to continue to operate at this location." In a letter, the daycare provided a list of other options for all the families who are impacted by this closure. But like this parent, many of those options aren't close enough or within budget.
There's literally nowhere other than me driving way out of my way. The combined rates for both of my children is going to be more than what I bring home.
The only other daycare option in Belleville is just down the road, and they're at near capacity.
Everyone's kind of scrambling to figure out what they should do.
Alyssa Krebs is the owner and director of Belleville Early Learning Center. She said since families were notified last Thursday, she's been swamped trying to help as many families as she can.
A lot of them are just on waiting lists. Right now, we're able to get in 3 families.
Right now, more than 20 families are looking for a place to send their child.
It puts a lot of pressure on everyone.
Now, that daycare is also dealing with some staffing shortages right now. They say until they're able to hire enough people to take care of all of those incoming kids, families may be waiting until March to be registered for their daycare services.
It's quite a pinch. All right, Jamie Perez. Jamie, thank you.
Sure.
A suburban Milwaukee school board has voted to drop the high school's Indians mascot. The Menominee Falls School Board voted 5-2 last night to retire the nickname that some considered racist. A committee comprised mainly of students will come up with the new mascot and nickname. Madison Crime Stoppers are asking for help identifying men suspected of stealing packages from an apartment complex mailroom. They posted these photos to social media saying they cleared 3 shelves of packages from the apartment building on Farinbrook Court. That's near the UW campus. This happened on Saturday right around 3 a.m.
A Northern Illinois elementary school principal has been charged with sexually assaulting a Wisconsin teenager. Curtis Tollfree Jr. was placed on administrative leave from the elementary school after district officials learned he was charged in connection with a lengthy sexual relationship with a female student at Bradford High School in Kenosha. That relationship allegedly started back in 2008 when he was working as a dean there. Tollfree faces 3 felony counts of sexual assault of a student by school staff. Board members have given the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources permission to start drafting hot-button manure restrictions. The board voted 5-1 today to greenlight restrictions meant to protect areas prone to groundwater pollution. Last year, the DNR imposed similar restrictions on manure spreading in 15 northeastern Wisconsin counties. That was in response to drinking water contamination in Kewaunee County.
Bucks forward Chris Middleton is helping children at a Milwaukee elementary school stay warm this winter.
I like my coat. It's pretty and it's my favorite color. It's warmer than my other coat.
In partnership with United Healthcare, Middleton gave every student at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School a brand new winter coat. It's part of Middleton's 12 Days of Christmas, a holiday initiative to perform a dozen different acts of kindness in various communities. More than 300 coats were distributed today. Students were laughing and dancing as they tried them on. Students at Dodgeville Elementary School are doing something good for hungry families. A few weeks ago, 4th and 5th graders learned how to make bread. Representatives from King Arthur Flour taught a workshop and sent students home with flour, yeast, a recipe book, and dough scraper. Well, after developing their baking skills at home, the students got the chance today to bake at the high school and give back to Iowa County families in need.
Our first time we got together last Thursday, we had over 40 pounds of dough that we made, which equals to about 688 dinner rolls is what we decided to make.
The students are hoping to match that amount of bread again today. It'll be donated to the Feeding Friends organization to serve at their weekly community meal at the Methodist Church in Dodgeville.
Next at 6, as colder temperatures move in, plans for a new homeless shelter in Baraboo are coming together. We'll show you where that new facility will be and why it's so needed in that community.
And there is more local news ahead as the U.S. closes a new trade deal with Mexico and Canada. We're asking Wisconsin dairy farmers what it could mean for them. That story is tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
All aboard the Holiday Express. Outbreak Garden's large-scale model train display is now up and running. The trains wind through a holiday scene bustling with hundreds of poinsettias and fresh evergreens. The Wisconsin Garden Railway Society opened the display this weekend. You can see a bullet, steam, Santa, circus, or freight train, depending on the day. Tickets are $6 for adults, $3 for children. After a year of searching for what would become Baraboo's only homeless shelter, a location has now been chosen.
The almost 5,000 square foot building will house 30 clients, men, women, and children. That's a significant portion of the estimated 80 to 100 homeless people in the county. Amanda Quintana shows us how the plans are coming together.
On cold days like today, you often think of those who don't have a home. Since March of 2018, there hasn't been a homeless shelter here in Baraboo. The next one is right here.
It has taken a long time to get here. This is bigger than we really imagined that we would start out with.
Reverend Dave Mauer's vision is finally coming together.
Folks will come in to do intake, and the very first thing that will happen is all of the clothes that they have with them will go into the washer, and we'll have this one dedicated just for doing intake laundry.
Showing those who helped make it happen why it means so much.
If it's single ladies, then we could sure have bunk bed, but if we're talking about putting one family in here, then having some rollaway beds where we could change configuration is important.
When the city's only homeless shelter closed last spring, he made it his mission to create a new one.
Jesus cares about those folks, so for me, that's been sort of the only motivator that I needed.
This time with services to get people back on their feet, and a wing for women and families and one for men.
There are a lot of folks around living in their cars, because right now there's no homeless shelter in Baraboo, there's no homeless shelter in Sauk City, Purdue Sac. There is a homeless shelter for women and children only in Reedsburg. So right now there are no beds for men in the whole county.
Now, although it looks like an empty building, a victim of vandals, the donations quickly filling rooms show its promise.
We're going to have some very excited volunteers who get to run a jackhammer.
Volunteers ready to turn the former memory care center around. Businesses ready with food, mattresses, furniture. For the day, its doors are open.
It does not surprise me at all that people are coming literally out of the woodwork to volunteer. That's who Baraboo is.
So far, they've raised $100,000. They're hoping to raise $20,000 more. That will cover the operating budget for a year and renovations. In Baraboo, Amanda Quintana, News 3 Now.
The plan is to have it open by next spring when renovations are complete. So this winter will be the second one without a shelter in the area.
Coming up in sports, the Packers aren't letting their win over the Bears earlier this season get to their heads. We'll hear from head coach Matt LaFleur a little bit later in sports.
And bundle up tonight and tomorrow. We have alert days in the forecast and wind chills dropping below zero. Gary has the details coming up next.
For a clear, easy to understand forecast, watch First Alert Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Penalty joins us now, and it's cold outside.
It is. I mean, you know, but this is a relatively short cold snap because we're going to see our temperatures warm right back up for Thursday and Friday. But winters as a whole, that's a different story. You look across the country, since 1970, the staff over at Climate Central has put this map together, kind of telling that temperatures have been above the going average since 1970 across the entire country, with the highest temperature rise, which is concentrated in the northern part of the United States, this area of northwestern Wisconsin, north central Minnesota, and northern New York State into parts of New Hampshire, have seen temperatures rise by 7 degrees over that time period. Here in southern Wisconsin, our temperatures have been in the 4 to 5 degree range. Specifically for Madison, 4.6 degree rise from 1970 to 2019. Now, that doesn't mean we still can't have cold winters. In fact, the last couple of winters have been a little colder than the average, but you can see the general trend is in an upward direction. So these cold snaps that we're having, they still occur, but they just don't occur as long. And this is a good one as an example. We were very cold today. Tomorrow, we still have an alert day in the forecast for temperatures that'll be in the single digits with wind chills to 10 below zero and high temperatures only in the teens. But a lot of that is because, at least for right now, why we're not getting those really cold snaps is because we don't have much snow cover here in southern Wisconsin. That's not the case in the northern part of the state. Take a look at the difference in temperatures last night. Here in Madison, we dropped to 10 degrees, but temperatures were below zero over much of northwestern Wisconsin and in the teens below zero through parts of North Dakota and northern Minnesota. Current temperatures are already down to zero in Marshfield and 6 below zero in Rhinelander, while we're still in the teens. To the north and west, those temperatures single digits above and below zero, with wind chills approaching 20 below zero in some spots, while our wind chills are still in the single digits. There are wind chill advisories in effect overnight for much of northern Wisconsin and northern Minnesota, but that's the area, again, over the snow cover where temperatures are a little bit colder. As we take a look at the almanac for today, our high temperature, 20 degrees, the low temperature, 10. So it was a colder than normal day, but we've started out the month of December with warmer than normal conditions until today. 13, the current temperature, winds out of the west-northwest at 6 miles per hour with clear skies. That drops the wind chill to 4 degrees. Three things you need to know in the forecast. It'll be another very cold day for tomorrow. Skies will be sunny, but temperatures only in the upper teens. We'll turn cloudy for Thursday and Friday, but we'll see a quick warm-up with temperatures back into the upper 30s. And then we'll see another cool down over the weekend. We'll see perhaps some light snow on Saturday, but temperatures will drop on Saturday and only be in the lower 20s on Sunday. On weather track, upper level winds from the northwest, but you can see out to the west, those winds become westerly again. So very quickly, we see a quick warm-up. That high pressure system, the center of the cold air mass just out to the west of us, that's where the bulk of the cold air is. But notice on the other side of the high, as winds become a little more southeasterly and southerly, those temperatures warm right back up. So on future track, look for a cold night tonight, maybe a few clouds as this weather system passes to our south. And then we'll see sunny skies for tomorrow, but another cold day. Now on Thursday, as the winds become a little more southeasterly, that's when we start to warm up. There'll be some light snow in the northern part of the state. A few snow showers could clip areas north of Madison during the day, but we'll look for high temperatures back in the upper 30s for Thursday and even on Friday. Notice those winds out of the south. That will keep temperatures up to the upper 30s. So our forecast for tonight calls for mostly clear skies. Might see skies turn partly cloudy toward morning. Low temperature at 6, but with westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour, those wind chills will be down around 10 below zero at times. Tomorrow, a mostly sunny but very cold day. High temperature at 18, west to northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, look for mostly clear skies, then maybe a few clouds late with low temperatures in the single digits. Then tomorrow, we'll see plenty of sunshine with high temperatures in the upper teens. But tomorrow night, as clouds move in, watch those temperatures drop and then start rising again overnight. So we're back into the low 20s already by Thursday morning. And then Thursday with mostly cloudy skies. Again, the best chances of light snow will be north of Madison, but high temperatures will top out in the upper 30s. As we take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures go right back down on the weekend, but it's not as precipitous of a drop. 32 for a high on Saturday with falling temperatures, 23 on Sunday, and then temperatures mid to upper 20s the early part of next week and in the low 30s by the end of the week.
After a Heisman invitation snub, Jonathan Taylor got a consolation prize. It's actually a really good consolation prize. Come on back. Sports is next. Just because Wisconsin running back Jonathan Taylor wasn't named a finalist for the Heisman Trophy doesn't mean he's not really, really good. More awards rolling in for JT23, named a first-team All-American by the Football Writers Association. It's his second straight first-team selection by this group, and it won't be his last All-American team that he makes. Taylor went for more than 1,900 yards and 26 total touchdowns and said he's definitely playing the Rose Bowl, not skipping it, to prepare for the NFL. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says he won't put much stock in their first matchup with the Bears. A win is a win is a win, but both teams look totally different since the 10-3 game that seemed like forever ago. The Packers are working on clinching the NFC North. The Bears trying to get into the postseason conversation. LaFleur said there are always new twists when you get a division opponent the second time around.
I think our offense is much different than it was then, and I think theirs as well. You know, we attacked them with the predominantly, we had 5, what we call bigs, 5 D linemen on the field, and I'm sure they'll have some adjustments for us.
The Bears have gone from left for dead to in the hunt. Making the playoffs is a long shot, but not impossible. Chicago's won 3 straight and 4 out of 5 and have a glimmer of swag back. Their head coach, Matt Nagy, says it's not that complicated. It helps when you're winning.
I really, really appreciate the camaraderie, the spirit, just the way everybody in this building has handled everything. And so we know that we have guaranteed 3 games left. Where that takes us, I don't know, but I know I will look back and be very proud. So we just gotta get that, do everything we can to get a win this week.
Hate the Bears or love them, Khalil Mack did a pretty cool thing. The Fort Pierce, Florida native went to his hometown Walmart and spread some holiday cheer times 300. Paid off all the open layaway accounts at the store, totaling around $80,000. The store manager said Mack wanted to be a secret Santa, but with the phone and the interwebs and all that, it's pretty hard to do unless he sent somebody, in disguise or went and said, no, I'm not Khalil Mack. So cool picking up the tab for everybody there.
That is awesome.
He should be that nice to Aaron Rodgers this weekend, too, I think. That'd be great.
Warm and fuzzy at Lambeau on Sunday.
I'd appreciate that.
Maybe I'll just pick him up instead of picking up the tab.
Yeah. No.
Well, it's a cold night out there already. Temperatures are in the single digits and lower teens. Wind chills right now, single digits above and below 0. Look for wind chills to perhaps be as cold as 10 below 0 by tomorrow morning. Highs in the upper teens. Quick warm up Thursday and Friday. Temperatures turning colder over the weekend, and then quiet weather for much of next week.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.